any comments, questions, that will be more real time versus calling in. But if you want to hear your wonderful video, definitely make sure to call in so we can hear you and we can answer your wonderful comments and questions.
Yeah, and that is Facebook. Just type in DZRJ810AM on Facebook there, and that'll take you right to our live show. So let's get to headline news.
Awesome. There's some cool stuff this week, wasn't there?
There's a lot of all the things that we're going to talk about today, and we're going to go through. But before we get on these really cool subjects, I just wanted to first touch on the big headline news. Now, if you were watching, listening to the BBC or the radio broadcast comes out of the international thing, Kim Jong-un from North Korea. And Gio, I don't know if you know, North Korea, it's just north of South Korea.
Is it? I thought it was to the west.
Yeah, no.
It's not.
I think it's just to the north.
Americans are not always that great with geography.
Yeah, I know. But the interesting thing is this meeting that's coming up that everybody keeps talking about between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. Now, it was just a few months ago that there was a war on the horizon between North Korea and the United States, and Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump were throwing insults at each other. Kim Jong-un was calling Trump a crazy man, and Trump, I believe, was calling him fat and rocket man. It was like a little push fight there on the playground. But all that may be changing now. There's been some behind-the-scenes peace talks going on there, and it looks possible that there may be a peace agreement between North and South Korea coming up. Now, in case you didn't know, the Korean War, which happened some 60-plus years ago, is still actually theoretically still going on.
Well, everybody stopped except North Korea.
Yeah, they never actually signed. They signed an armistice, so not to shoot at each other. But the war is still going on. Nobody really ended the war. So this peace agreement actually may be the end to that war. And so, the whole thing in this agreement, the first thing, the demilitarized zone, which is really a demilitarized zone. I mean, it's called the demilitarized zone, but there's North Korean soldiers lined up along one side, and South Korean soldiers lined up on the other side.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly that. So I think that would be. But
it's like the no man's land.
Yeah,
you can look at each other, but you can't cross.
Tried to run across the border from North Korea to South Korea, and the North Koreans shot him five or six times, but he lived.
And he lived.
Yeah, they got him over the border. But people from
what happens too is, like, even if they escape, it's not so much about you're free, but what they do to your family when you leave.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing.
Quite unfortunate.
You got to be careful about, because they'll go after your family, and your neighbor, brother, whatever, who knew your dog and everything. So you don't want to make them too mad.
It's a very big commitment because you're putting a lot of people at stake.
Yeah, it's true, and you can never go back.
You cannot.
You can never go back.
It looks like the comments are up now on the Facebook feed, so if you guys wanted to leave some messages there.
Live now. Now, it's funny though, since this whole thing has happened, the South Koreans have come out and kind of, so right now, that's, Donald Trump came out, he made a statement this week backing the pop. But the issue on everyone's mind is, what does everybody get out of this?
So essentially North Korea and the U.S. being friends again.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, basically, they'll sign a deal. This is what everybody's kind of worried about. This is the allies. Is that Trump would go over there and the United States for the last couple of months with this whole meeting thing, and then he China and buddies up, and now China's involved in the meeting, and so this, he's kind of. And now Trump is really, he's back into a corner now because now he can't not do this. He's got to. He says, okay, the United States. So that's why right there, Abe is over in the United States. He's talking to Trump and he's trying to make sure that he's part of this deal, that whatever Trump tries to still shoot missiles at the United States. I mean,
but also
at Japan,
Japan.
At Japan as well. And right now, I mean, this is a big thing for Abe because he's thrown a lot of his eggs into one basket by Trump.
Right.
And they got a lot of scandals going on there in Japan right now.
I wish him the best, but if it works out, then I guess Japan will be safe as well from any missiles that may further their.
And it made it quite an Olympics, quite a success that would not have happened.
Well, isn't this really what politics is all about? You help in a few things here and there, and you want to take as much.
And so he's taking on.
We should definitely ask Kim what his thoughts are.
Yeah, I'm sure he takes no credit on this.
Did all these accords work out so well because of Trump, or was it because Dennis Rodman was kicking it with him?
Dennis Rodman.
They're good buddies, right?
Yeah, they're supposedly quite good buddies. But
I guess he's training him how to shoot hoops.
That's a whole nother story. Another thing, but very fascinating week. The Russians, because they bombed the Syrians, the Syria bombed their own people with this chemical bombs.
And the Russians did not want the U.S. to do that.
Yeah, the United States, they said, well, we're going to slap all these sanctions on Russia because they're backing Assad and they're all these chemical attacks. And Nikki Haley, who is the ambassador of the UN, came out and said, hey, we're going to slap all these sanctions. You'll hear about it in the next couple of hours. And then immediately what came out was we're not exactly going to do sanctions on Russia. Maybe not yet. Maybe Nikki Haley was a little bit confused. And so
that's your kind of woman there.
So that's definitely my kind of woman. Now, basically, this means that she's going to be fired by next week. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Let's see. But supposedly Trump was when she said that. He said, "Who told her to say that? Who told her to say that?" Because he doesn't. He and Putin right now are still, even though there's all this conflict going on between them and Russia, they're still BFFs.
Behind closed doors because they can't be. It seems like.
Yeah. So I don't think that Trump is ready to throw out such. He's really out of action.
So just say a lot, but don't necessarily do a lot.
Say anything. So just moving on out of politics, I just want to get to this one story because I think it is such a crazy, bizarre story. There was a thing last week, and first, just to get in, just to set the stage for this story was there was this woman, her name, and she was on a flight once, and she was about to go to the bathroom.
A VP for a bank, right?
No. This is another woman. It's totally another woman. Yeah, she was about to go to the bathroom, and then the flight attendant said, there's some turbulence coming up. So she stayed in her seat, and the woman next to her made this kind of funny face, like, I hate the turbulence and everything. And the woman made the funny face back. And literally just a few seconds later, they heard a noise, and then the window blew out right next to her, and the woman that she had just made the funny face to flew out of the window. And this was a huge story this week. It happened in the back of her. She had her seatbelt on, or she would have been sucked right out. And they grabbed the back of her, this woman, Holly McKay, and this young teenager who was sitting next to them, fasten your seatbelt. I'm going to fasten my seatbelt. Because you just never know.
Better safe than sorry.
It's sucked out of the plane. It's interesting too that most people hit the ceiling and they get lift for this. Interesting. It's about. Slams you into the ceiling when it drops down like that.
Makes sense.
So Anybody comes on, put the freaking seatbelt on.
So listen to those flight stewardesses, the flight attendants. They know what they're saying, and they're really trying to protect your lives.
Yes. Good public service announcement there. Now, speaking of public service announcements, we need to help this poor guy. You've been seeing now, the only reason I'm talking about this is on a Filipino newspaper, and I wanted to talk about it right before we go to commercial. You know, Michael Cohen, we talked about him a little bit last week. He is the lawyer for Donald Trump. And, you know, it's just a story, so it's not this big. But this may be huge in the next couple of weeks because, you know, Trump's been under investigation for able to prove a lot. But this is his personal attorney who knows all the stuff about it. Two weeks ago, went in and they took all the files out of his offices, they took his phones, they took everything. And they think that the problem that Trump may have with this is this guy, you know, he set Trump up under his face. He could roll over on the president, and that could mean disaster for the Trump presidency. And that will make big news. And that'll be something that we're talking about here.
Well, if he's a good lawyer, I guess he can push it back for a few years.
Well, that's the thing. They had him in court last week, and last week it's one of those moments in court where everybody goes, were they? You got the playmate pregnant, and she had an abortion. They paid her $1.6 million, and he was the guy that facilitated that. And it was the secret third client, and nobody knew who the third client was. And the guy opinionated the guy that comes on Fox News talks about how great Trump is, but it's crook, and so forth. And it turns out that he is the father of this guy, which makes this thing just even. And not only that, just to make things a little wackier, BuzzFeed came out last year with the Dawson about Donald Trump, this salacious thing that he, you know, had hookers and a host Russia, and you know, all these things that are, you know, very, very bad. And then Trump was perfectly sued BuzzFeed. He was in fraud, and then he wasn't in fraud, and he was meeting with the Russians. Anyway, last week, all of a sudden, he dropped the lawsuit. And people think that those documents that they found in his office, the stuff in the dossier is true. So this may be, you know, is this the presidency? We wait every week for some smoke. What like to hear from you on? Keep getting fun. Remember, Playmate Casino is for people 21 years old and above only. Don't think of gambling as a way to make money. Set a time limit for play. Set a maximum amount of money for gaming. Don't play when you are depressed or upset. Don't let it get in the way of a happy life and family. For information on responsible gaming, call the hotline 521-0957 or visit www.pagcor.ph/regulatory.php. A message from PagCor. Keep it fun. Game responsibly. Ang PCS o lahat ng job ang makapanood yung live sa TV sport, sila na rin yung maaari din kung mapanood yung live via live stream gamit ang mga cell phones, gadgets at internet. I follow, o mag-subscribe, daily notes live at YouTube.com. You can be sure it's your single color. Steel roofing, high quality.
Check out Jacinto Style and other roofing profiles of Jacinto Color. Guaranteed 5-day delivery. Call 921-4444 or email us admin@jacintocolor.com. Or you may text 0917-875-1867. Your health matters. You matter. And we care. Tune in Healthline.net, moderated by Nicole Jacinto, every Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. on DZRJ 810 a.m. Experienced doctors, your health. So tune in and don't miss a beat. Healthline is brought to you in part by CADCore, creating opportunities beyond gaming. Healthline is also brought to you by PCSO. Sa PCSO, bawat taya para sa kawang gawa. Mochigami ang kasama. Radio Bandido, 8-10 a.m. Live from the DZRJ studios.
My name is Eric McCain, and I'm here with our special guest, Gio Puccini.
Hello, guys.
The latest names in
They're quick Facebook feed. By the way, our telephone number here is 895-4460 or 897. A whole bunch of stuff going on. You know, before we were breaking, we were talking a little bit about Syria, and there's a really interesting story to come out of Syria. A week ago, they went in and the United States, and France, and the UK, and they all got together. They went in and bombed Syria. Now, they didn't really do much damage, but they went in, and bombed it. But it turns out that back in 2001, France had given the now president Assad a really cool award. The award was called, let's see if I the prestigious the Legion d'Honneur from France. And it's this beautiful, like, big golden thing that you put around your neck.
I think you earned that though by playing like 48 hours nonstop of League of Legends, right?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. Just playing. We'll have to look up what he earned that award.
Well, you know, it was back in 2001. His father just died. He took over as the president of Syria. Now, he's mad. He decided that to get back in France, he's going to give back his medal.
Well, hopefully he makes a fake replica and keeps the gold.
He's going to give back his medal. He said thing Assad is giving back. He said it doesn't work. The Syrian French ministry said in a statement, "It's no honor for President Assad to wear the decoration attributed by a slave." French.
We won't have his medal to sleep with anymore.
No. So anyway, that's Assad getting him back for their bombing attack.
It's a very, very painful retribution.
Yes, he's
unfortunate.
He's going after, and
he's giving back a solid gold medal.
Yeah. So
very painful.
Yeah. So Assad.
You can actually, Assad, if you're listening, feel free to send the medal to me. I'll take care of that for you.
That's great. I don't think Assad is listening, but you never know. Now, in other news, Prince. You know that Prince the singer.
Or isn't it formerly known as Prince? Now he's like a symbol.
Well, he was Prince, and then he was the artist formerly known as Prince, and then he went back to be Prince.
So when he was the artist formerly known as Prince, it was the symbol.
It was just a symbol.
Okay.
Yeah, which when we asked him to explain it, he says you can't understand it. You just can't understand it. But then he eventually was like, this is stupid, and he went back to Prince. Anyway, so Prince, the anniversary of his death is today, and a story came out this week about Prince that the United States and the rest of the world, it's 40 times more potent than heroin. So it's 100 times more potent than morphine. It's a really harsh drug. And supposedly what the story now is that Prince was taking Vicodin that he was taking was this knockoff Vicodin that he had gotten somewhere. It was laced with fentanyl.
This must be the black market.
Vicodin that he was taking. So they believe
Probably similar to the rice you can buy from China that's made out of plastic.
I don't know if that comes from the same place, but
Same manufacturer.
I would say probably not. But the Vicodin that he was taking, they think that he didn't know that it was laced with fentanyl. He was just taking it, and he became addicted to the fentanyl accidentally.
Oh my goodness!
And when they did the autopsy on his body, they found it. So, and also, you know,
who was implicated in
they're not going to close the case because they have no way of knowing who was giving him the drug. Because nobody seems to know that this was going on, knows that he was taking the drug. Now, his doctor was fined $30,000 for prescribing Percocet to his ex-drummer, knowing that the drummer was going to give it to Prince. So they fined the doctor for that. But they very interesting side note here that nothing compares to you. Remember that song that you hear on saying? It was written by Prince. This week, they released the only version of that. I heard it. It's fabulous.
We should have ready.
Maybe I'll play that for the feed later. We'll come on later. So moving on. Do you know the tribe in the Philippines? It's a little Filipino story here that came out in the international news. The Bajau. That's over the Bajaus. But the Bajaus that we're talking about this week are the water people. They come from the Philippines and Indonesia and Malaysia, and they live on the water and mountain. They live on houseboats. And sometimes they stay on the houseboats for most of the time of the year. And they only come to shore for certain things, and then they go right back to their houseboat. And they dive off the houseboat and go down deep. And so that's how their livelihood is. So anyway, a scientific study came out this week that Bajaus have spleens. And that spleen is how they're able to hold their breath for so long because it keeps the oxygen in the blood. It's such a big thing. And so supposedly, this is, the Bajau has been around for thousands of years. First voyage around the world, and they came to the Bajaus and saw that these water people, they were able to dive down so deep. They're able to go like these ridiculous amount, like 70 meters, holding their breath without scuba diving.
Very deep.
The pressure that's on it, and so they did things larger than other tribes that are also in the same area.
That's quite a bit larger.
That's enormous. But here is the cool thing from this this research study that die, and then people that don't die. It's they evolved genetically as a race.
So we're gonna have to send a couple of them to the U.S. for the diving. Big set who can hold their breath the longest.
I have not heard of that yet, but there should be.
It should be
because the Bajaus could win that. But do you know what?
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Please.
Now let's move over to technology really quick. We've got a very short amount of time. Do you know what a telegram is?
Yes, so it's a can hack or get your information. This Cambridge Analytica stuff going on.
Yeah.
People are very concerned that if they type something on there, somebody somewhere is seeing it.
Yes.
Telegram is all about like, look, no one can see it. They've raised tons of money through ICOs, and they've become a very, very big player in the messaging platforms. and they were in the news for Russia, right? Russia had some issues with them.
Wants to be able to see people's messages. They want to know what people are writing to each other. And so they took Telegram to court and they said, hey, you know what? We got to be able to see here. And the Telegram, because you get to rewrite your software, and Telegram said no.
Well, they would pretty much just like say, hey, you're building a Toyota, we want you to build a Volvo. It's like country, it doesn't make any sense.
So what Russia did was it said, okay, we're going to cut off all the IP numbers that are related, that go, you know, that we believe that are going to Telegram users. And so
hundreds of thousands of them. But the thing is, like, because the way it's set up for Telegram, they don't have like their dedicated IP. They use AWS, they use Facebook. A lot of people will every single Amazon, every single IP address for
they set down 16 million IP addresses. And unfortunately, who got caught up in the shutdown of IP addresses? Everybody else. All the businesses.
Telegram was not affected.
Telegram only supposedly had 5% of the people in Telegram that actually had a problem with this. But all these businesses,
local Russian businesses,
the Volvo dealerships, fiber online service, all these things.
Even one of the government websites, I recall, they shut themselves down for a period of time. I don't know if you read that article, but yeah, they shut themselves down.
So anyway,
hey Tom, I think you shut down our IP. Can you open that one back up?
They tried to shut down Telegram, and they shut themselves. Stupid things in technology, and I wanted to tell this story and see what your thoughts on it were. So you know the Nokia 3310?
Yeah, the infamous phone that is meant to outlast all.
Everybody, you know, there was a time in the Philippines where everybody had a 3310. I even had a 3310. Everybody had this little kind of oblong shaped phone by Nokia, and they were just super, incredibly popular back in the early 2000s. They had these buttons on it, and you had to type the messages, you had to
And when you dropped the cell phone, and it was done. It's completely broken. And this 3310 was like the first phone you can drop down a flight of stairs, and it's still fine.
It's still fine.
I used to, interestingly enough, when they were still selling, I used to sell cell phones at the mall.
Yeah.
While I was in college. And there was one guy who dropped it in a bucket of paint, let it dry, peeled the paint off, and the phone worked fine.
It still worked fine?
Yes.
So anyway, Nokia, it's bringing these phones back, but it has a new 3G technology chip built into it. But it's still the same phone, it just has a little bit of it. So not to be outdone by phone calls, and it does not have the internet.
Oh, yeah.
It does not have internet of any kind.
Well, as you know, right now the senators, they get caught doing stuff.
During bad things.
Or Paris Hilton, she got her phone hacked, right? These guys, they can't do, nobody can access the device.
You take a picture, but you can't post it anywhere.
Yes.
The interesting thing is, though,
if
you have one of these cell phones and you take the College Scholastic Ability Test, I think most of these is it pass that, you can trade in your phone.
For 3 years, then you can get upgraded to a 4-year-old phone.
Right.
I love the idea.
And dumb phones that make you smarter.
I think that's just should be the tagline. We should. We will. We're patent pending that one, so you're gonna have to pay us royalties.
So let's move over quickly. Lance, the greatest cyclist ever, and then they screwed up, and he had to admit that he had been taking performance-enhancing drugs. He lost all 7 of his Tour de France.
Everything.
When he took it, everything was taken away from him. And the U.S. government, now, his biggest sponsor was the U.S. Postal. U.S. Postal was their big, huge sponsor.
USPS.
And So they put a lot of money into this bike team. Millions. The U.S. Postal Service is funded by the public. Taxpayers. So the U.S. government sued Lance Armstrong for the money.
Lawsuit from the government.
Against Lance Armstrong. And so this
kick a man while he's down.
Kick a man while he's down. And so Lance Armstrong settled that lawsuit this week for $5 million.
Wow, that's still a big chunk of change.
You know, he tried to block this thing several times. He tried to block this lawsuit. He couldn't block it. And decision.
I agree. It's probably not a bright idea to be fighting against the government. Well, the U.S. Postal Service is essentially an extension of it, right?
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of sway, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean,
now they're not as busy delivering packages like they used to because they got so much content, so they got some free time to go out.
Well, they're out delivering all those Amazon packages if you listen to the President of the United States. But, you know, I just wanted to say, you know, Lance taking performance-enhancing drugs, which he was able to hire a career. They never caught him. They never caught him once. What messed him up is that one of his teammates turned him in and sued him. One of his teammates.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's unfortunate sometimes certain things in life really destroy the credibility of certain good people.
Yeah, this whole thing is over.
Challenge.
So before we're kind of winding the show down, but what I always like to do, and I know about this
and this is mainly just because I'm just a natural animal. I'm just an animal.
I've
got animal instinct.
So anyway, this week, part of it, that these ants, they are.
What's the name? It's a tough name.
Colobopsis explodens. That's what the scientific term is. And these
I like that because Colobopsis is almost like a colostomy.
I never thought of it that way, but I can see the similarity now.
And then explodus.
These ants, when they are attacked by a predator or another ant or another insect, whatever, their defense. It's all over the attacker.
I forgot what it's called, but it's the ovalish abdomen that it just kind of explodes. It ruptures.
Now,
so it's kind of like when you can't go.
Yeah, I know. I was
kamikaze style.
Yeah, it's kamikaze style. But supposedly
it's all about defending the team or defending the group. It's all about group.
It's exactly what it is. And they explain it. The scientists explained it in the study, which I read the whole study. It's a fascinating article.
And it's only the sterile females that do that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you caught it.
There's two. That has a big head. And these are the ones that explode. And they go down this one little hole, and these ants, the hole is just big enough for them to fit their head through. And so one of the ants will lodge his head into the opening of the way that we're going right now. The extinction level process that's going on right now is a lot faster than we think. And it's happening to animals that are very popular animals, like rhinos.
The large ones.
The large land animals like rhinos. Elephants and hippos are faster than we think or that we notice. And
they also require, I mean, the larger the animal is, the larger of an area they require.
Yeah. And we talked about last week the white rhino.
Right.
And I said that there was only one male and one female. Actually, there's one male and two females.
For the good stuff, he just takes them out to dinner.
So what they were saying in this study that in the next lifetime, maybe our children's lifetime, cows land left on Earth.
Well, the formal name for cows.
and you were talking to me that before you were saying that cows may actually not be as plentiful. But cows may not be as plentiful because they're making artificial meat.
Right? They're using I'll leave it fresh enough on the news, but they're using stem cells from plants, and they're making meat, essentially laboratory created meat. The pricing initially, like 4 or 5 years ago, was very, very, very high, $1,000 per pound, and now it's got. Since it's not a human organ, there's not like salmonella, there's not the bacteria that a human requires. So it's going to be a very, very clean source of meat. The shelf life will be longer. It has a lot of benefit, ability, cost and just production.
Well, the only thing I can think of is I bet cows.
So there's going to be a big diminishment. And right now, it gets killed off, but they're breeding more cows because they need to. Even this new company that is specializing on a product which is touch-free meat, so you can buy a package from the grocery store of meat that you're going to cook, and it's in these special packets that you will never, ever, ever touch the meat. And then you can just pull it out and drop it in the pan and cook it. So our society is becoming more and more considerate. I'm not sure how you want to put it, but they're a little bit more sensitive to flesh of other creatures. And, one of it is they don't want to necessarily touch it. Before, back in the day, you have to kill the animal. You have to skin it, you have to gut it, you have to prepare it, you have to cook it. So, but it's gotten to the point where I've never had to kill an animal and cut it and cook it myself. I don't know if you ever.
Yeah, I'm pretty outside my window and kill a pig, and a pig screaming and yelling, "Oh my God, what's that baby crying?"
That was in New York, right?
Yeah.